Alright, hey everyone, Core 77, my sister Morgan here. This is going to be our last video talking about the 3D films of this year. This year there were so many 3D films. I mean, because of Avatar, seriously, I mean, it seems like almost every other movie coming out nowadays has to be in 3D.
It's always
and it's expensive. I mean, we saw Gulliver's Travels in Tron this weekend, and I'm wiped out.
Yes.
And I mean, 3D is, sometimes it can work, sometimes it doesn't, and that's what we're here to talk about, the 3D films that worked for us and the ones that didn't. So we have our top 3 best and top 3 worst 3D films of this year with some honorable mentions. So let's go ahead and start off with your one honorable mention for best 3D of this year.
Okay. Mine was Tron Legacy. I wrote all these down before I saw the movie. So I reminded myself, I was like, I need to put this down. So this is my honorable mention one. 3D, perfect. I would want to go see the movie again. You know, everything was really good, right in your face, and I love those 3D movies. Excellent movie.
Alright, so my honorable mentions for best 3D of the year, we don't have any for the worst, but for honorable mentions, best 3D wise, Saw 3D. It has some pretty good gimmicky 3D moments. That's what I like. I mean, if you're going to go see a 3D movie, I want stuff coming out of the audience. I mean, that's what makes it so much fun. I mean, the depth, it's alright in some aspects, but I want stuff coming out and kind of stuff to kind of reach out and try to grab. But so Saw 3D was pretty good. She didn't see that one, obviously. It was Radar. So, but my second one is also your honorable mention, Tron Legacy. I really liked how when they're in the real world, it was 2D, and when they're in the Tron world, it was 3D. It had some of those just depth moments, but also had some moments, maybe with the identity discs, that stuff was coming out when they were kind of breaking up into, I guess, glass-like substance or whatever.
Glass.
I mean, it had some pretty good gimmicky 3D moments. So, yeah, Tron and Saw 3D are my two honorable mentions. Best 3D of this year.
Okay, I'll start out with number 3, so here it goes. My third favorite 3D pop-out film is How to Train Your Dragon. A very good movie when the dragon is going through the clouds, or it has back scenes, very perfect. You know, the clouds, they look real, they're coming at you. When the wind speeds, you know, perfect.
Also when they're like blowing fire and stuff like that.
Comes out at you.
There was definitely a lot of stuff coming out. It had some pretty nice gimmicky moments, which we both enjoyed.
Yes.
And that's also my number 3, How to Train Your Dragon. It was really good. I mean, it's a great film. It's definitely up there with the Pixar films. I mean, I remember walking out going like looking at the poster going, was that Pixar or DreamWorks? Because it was that good. And if you're a big fan of Pixar movies and not so much DreamWorks movies like I am, I mean, I'm not a big DreamWorks fan.
Me neither.
But I mean, this is definitely up there with like the Toy Story films, in my opinion. How to Train Your Dragon definitely gives 2 thumbs up from both of us, and the 3D really good.
So my number 2 is Legends of the Guardian. Movie very, very good. What I loved about the movie is, and what both of us loved, favorite parts about the 3D was when the part where he is going through the water the rain. It was beautiful, and it was very real, and I love those scenes, and I love the angles of them, and me and him both enjoy a lot of that, and that made me love the movie. I was into it. My eyes were open, mouth dropped. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's my number 2 as well. Legend of the Guardians. Yeah, when the main character Soren is going through the rain, it's just one of the most impressive 3D shots of this whole year. It's an amazing film to watch in 3D. I almost wish I had 3D television and everything just to be able to watch this film, because it's a decent movie. It's not the greatest, but it kind of has a Lord of the Rings-esque vibe to it. But overall, decent film, but the 3D is the main attraction for this film. I mean, it's just a beautiful looking film. I mean, Zack Snyder, who did Watchmen and 300, he's definitely more of a director over, you know, style over substance. But this movie, it just works. I mean, it's a fun movie to watch with the family, and the 3D is amazing.
My number 1 is Step Up. Amazing, you know. If you ever seen Step Up 3, I think you know what I'm talking about right here. When they were having the dance battle, the dust was on the floor and they clapped it. It came out at you, and I remember I jumped out of my seat.
I think the best one was when they, you know, when he stopped.
The water. That was my favorite part too, and he's like, psh. and we were up close, and that's the best seats in town.
Yeah, definitely. You know, if you're going to go see a 3D movie, they do say this: the closer you sit, the better the 3D will come out at you. And I mean, we've been sitting up front every time we go see a 3D movie, and it's it definitely holds true.
Helps a lot. And I'm just saying that if you want to see a really good, fun dance, really good 3D, I would very much recommend Step Up 3D.
And that's my number 1 as well. I mean, we've had pretty much the same list. Step Up 3D. I didn't really like the movie. Obviously, it was in my top 10 worst. You know, that's how it goes sometimes. But the 3D was amazing. I mean, the dancing was really good as well. I mean, I'm not a big dance fan. My whole family is a big fan. I mean, I live with all girls, and they all love dancing stuff. And Step Up 3D, I mean, had some really good dancing. It was kind of fun, energetic film. Not my favorite, but the 3D was outstanding. I mean, this film was shot in 3D, and that's how it should be. If you're going to make something in 3D, shoot it in 3D.
So now we're going to go on to our top 3 worst 3D films. You want to start?
Yep. I'm going to start off with Gulliver's Travels as number 3. There was just no 3D in this movie. And the reason it's at number 3 is because I actually somewhat enjoyed the movie. I think it was a fun movie. Jack Black is always entertaining. Definitely School of Rock's my favorite.
Yes.
But Gulliver's Travels, the 3D was just highly, highly disappointing. There was nothing coming at you. There was barely any depth at all. It was like watching a movie with sunglasses on, as with the other two.
Yeah, when I was watching, I was like, I forgot I even had 3D glasses on.
Yeah.
It was just looked very normal and plain.
Very flat.
Yes. So my number 3 is Alice in Wonderland. This was on my top worst. The 3D, there were good shots, but then there was also very bad shots. I had to think of parts when, you know, she was walking and things were flying, and that stuff never popped out. It could have been a really good 2D film, but...
And it was one of those, they put it to 3D after the film, kind of post-converted.
If you, like my brother said, if you want to make a 3D movie, shoot it in 3D.
Alright, my number 2 is Alice in Wonderland. Awful, awful 3D. I mean, there was nothing coming out at you. And there was multiple opportunities. I mean, there was a lot of stuff flying at the camera, but every time it was like flying at the camera, it was like almost like flying to like a piece of glass or something. It was like it would come out and then it would like stop and it wouldn't even come out the screen at all. They did a horrible job post converting that film in 3D. It was a bad film as well. Oh man, I don't know. Alice in Wonderland, a huge letdown overall.
Number 2 is Gulliver's Travels. Like my brother said, it felt there was no 3D in it. Probably maybe the thing that looked like 3D was maybe when he had the bullets that came into his stomach and it popped out. Maybe that was the only good 3D.
And he was like splashing around on the wave.
Yes.
That was probably the only like gimmicky moment in the film.
That was really only good 3D shot. But movie was alright, but just the 3D was very poor.
Alright, and both of our number 1 is the same, so let's get on to it. Clash of the Titans. Awful. It's just
horrible. You know?
Wow. I mean, there's, again, no words to describe just how bad not only the movie was, but the 3D itself. You can't get any worse than Clash of the Titans. So yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about possibly somehow seeing Clash of the Titans in 3D in the future.
No.
Yeah, just don't do it. I mean, just watch a regular 2D. You'll probably enjoy it a lot more just like that. And but yeah, the 3D was awful in Clash of the Titans.
3D will disappoint you.
Overall, it's been a pretty mediocre year in 3D. It's been a pretty good year in 2010 overall.
Yes.
I mean, there's been a lot of good ones. There's been a lot of bad ones. So yeah, it's been a great year in movies. It's been a great year on YouTube. My sister might be in more videos. If you want to see her in more videos, let me know down below. We'll probably be doing reviews together. Our first film, I think, will be The Green Hornet, Seth Rogen. So yeah, that's really about it. That was our best films, our worst films, and our best and worst in 3D. So until next time, Corey, Morgan, thank you all for watching.
Bye.